Pantra, short for pantricycle. Ito ang madalas na tawag ng mga tao sa kahit anong standard motorcycles that are being used for tricycles here in the Philippines. It may be a derogatory word for some who are not into motorcycles, but hey, come to think of it. A bike is being used for tricycles because of its power to carry multiple passengers in the sidecar, the reliability since it needs to run the whole day, its comfortability for the rider to use it all day, and the fuel efficiency for the driver to still have a profit. And to be honest, when I first saw this bike, ganun din yung nasa isip ko since I grew up with sports bikes. Pero if you really look at this bike, and I mean dig deep into it, makikita mo kung bakit this is one of the best standard bikes that we have in the market ever since. Motorcycle of the Year in 2019. Indian Motorcycle of the Year in 2019. Best Retro Bike of the Year in 2019 and 2020. Best Modern Classic Middleweight in 2019. These are just few of the awards that this feature bike received as of late. I am Music, and this is the Royal Enfield Interceptor 650. Good day guys, welcome back to my channel. So before we start this review, we would like to thank Sir Miko Clemente and Sir Jesus Del Rosario of Royal Enfield QC Flagship Store for allowing us to test this bike for this review. In this video, we're going to review one of the twins of the Royal Enfield, the Interceptor 650. And as usual, we will run this bike through the different categories and magbibigay tayo ng verdict sa dulo. And just a disclaimer lang these ratings are based on my view and you may have a different rating and verdict. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1 is the looks. Dito sa Pilipinas, masasabi natin na dominated tayo ng sports bike enthusiast at yung mga classic bikes naitsupwera for quite some time. Pero kung mapapansin natin ngayon, meron ng emerging audience for classic bikes kaya unti-unti nang dumadami ang nakikita nating cafe racers, classic scooters, custom bikes, and scramblers. Maraming tumatawag dito na Pantra bike, which is short for pantricycle. But what I can see in this bike is the class, the heritage, the solid build, and the essence of a true middleweight roadster. What we have here is a bike that resembles a 60s bike with the exposed frame, single seat, clean look at the handlebars, classic side mirrors, twin pod analog gauges, and old school headlights, signal lights, and taillight. It is built as a standard cafe racer and you will see the pride of having this bike sa logo pa lang ng tangke niya. This bike has a height of 1,165mm, length of 2,122mm, width of 789mm, wheelbase of 1,400mm, and a ground clearance of 174mm. Weight of this bike is 202 kilograms without the fuel, which is mabigat ng kaunti for its size. Pero the reason naman kung bakit siya mabigat is dahil sa quality ng frame at engine na meron siya. It has different variants and color options to choose from which will adjust the price. They have the basic that has the Canyon Red, the Orange Crush, and the Venture Blue colors, the custom variant that has the Sunset Strip, Baker Express, and Downtown Drag colors, and my personal choice, the Mark II. And so for the look, since I am head over heels for the classics, I would give this bike 5 stars. Number 2 is comfortability. The Interceptor 650 is a roadster that will provide the rider a very relaxing but yet commanding riding position. It comes with a high, wide handlebar for that upright riding position and comfortable ride. It has a dual straight seat type with a diamond kilt pattern seat for that classy and comfortable riding. Ang reservation ko lang sa bike nito baka masyado makitid yung upuan niya for the rider and OBR sa mga long rides. Pero that is something that can either be a pro or a con depending sa rider. The seat is a little slanted so if you have your OBR with you, expect na magiging close kayo on sudden brakes. Seat height of this bike is 804mm, which is on the above average height for standard motorcycles. And so for the comfortability, I would give this bike 5 stars. Number 3 is engine and performance. This bike has a 648cc air and oil cooled, 4 valves, 2-cylinder, parallel twin engine, fuel injected, 6-speed transmission, single overhead cam that produces peak power of 47 horsepower at 7,150 RPM and 52 Newton meters of torque at 5,250 RPM. It is equipped with a gear-driven shift balance shaft to reduce the engine's vibration, making it a buttery smooth engine. Even with the classic aesthetics of the engine, this bike comes with a slipper clutch for a smoother, lighter, and precise shifting. Top speed of this bike is 180 km per hour and can cruise comfortably at 130 km per hour. This type of bike is really not meant for speed demons and more on standard bikers. The engine is supported by the double cradle tubular frame, which is made of solid steel. Fuel tank capacity is 13.7 liters, and this bike has a fuel consumption of 24 kilometers per liter, which is great for its displacement. This bike uses a 320mm single-disc 2-piston caliper at the front and a single-disc 240mm single piston at the rear, both from Vibre, which is launched by Brembo. It also has a dual-channel Bosch ABS for that additional confidence in braking. This feature alone will outperform the brakes of other sports or naked bikes with the same displacement. This bike has a 41mm telescopic fork suspension at the front and gas-charged shock absorbers with 5-stage preload adjustments and piggyback reservoirs at the rear. Front tire has a size of 100 by 90 by 18, while the rear has a size of 130 by 70 by 18. Royal Enfield purposely put 130mm tires sa bike na ito kasi it is really meant to be agile on the road and be flexible as much as possible on other pavements. You can even put this bike on a test sa off-road. Both tires on this bike are from Zeat Zoom Cruise, which is specially developed for Royal Enfield and is attached to the 36-spoke aluminum alloy rims for that very vintage look. Isa din sa pinakagusto ko sa bike na to is yung dual exhaust na bruskong-brusko yung tunog with its very low but loud rumble. So let's listen to the sound. And if you're wondering how this gorgeous bike sounds kapag open pipe, here is an Interceptor 650 with Moto Wings exhaust. And so for the engine performance, I would give this bike 4.5 stars. Number 4 is the tech. In terms of the instrument cluster, it is pretty basic since this is a classic bike, and this is what I love with their brand. You will see the analog speedometer on the left and the analog tachometer on the right. It also has a digital display screen on the lower side of the speedometer, which shows the odometer and fuel gauge as a default. But you can also see other information like the trip meter by pressing this one. Other indicators like the turn signal indicator, high beam indicator, engine malfunction indicator, low battery indicator, ABS indicator, neutral indicator, and low oil pressure indicator are displayed in the digital panel with the analog tachometer. And so for the things that I would like to see on this bike, it doesn't have the gear indicator, which is a little bummer for me. Another thing that I wish to see in this bike in the future is to still maintain that very classic look and style, same build quality, but upgrade the headlights, turn signal lights, and tail lights to use LED lights instead of halogen lights. Though this is just a personal preference and other riders may have a different view. So in terms of the tech, I will give this bike 4 stars. Number 5 is reliability. The Royal Enfield brand is the oldest motorcycle brand in the world, and we're talking about a century and 2 decades ago. That is 120 years ago. At exactly 1901, this brand was built in England, specifically in Redditch, Worcestershire, basta yung sauce. And since that time, their motto of "Made like a gun" has been established already, since the company also manufactures weapons. And therefore, they have the best machine shops and skilled workforce for performing precision engineering with high-quality steels. They started with 2 horsepower V-twin bikes, to 6 horsepower 770cc bikes, to the 2 horsepower 2-stroke bikes that were widely used during the Great Depression, to 250cc to 750cc military motorcycles that were used during the World War II, to the lightweight 125cc that were dropped into the battlefields using parachutes, to the 350cc government bikes from 1955, to the cafe racers in 1964, up to the recent available models. With this, we can say that Royal Enfield has a very trusted and reliable bikes because all generations, and we're talking about all generations, from the greatest generation, silent generation, baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Zs are using this bike. The reliability of this brand is phenomenal, which is why it stood against the test of time, and they adopted on every challenges and needs of each generation. And so for the reliability, I would give this bike 5 stars. Number 6 is maintenance and accessories. Royal Enfield has fewer dealerships in the Philippines as of the moment compared to the Japanese brands. Their showrooms are located in Batangas, Cebu, Davao, Cagayan de Oro, Baguio, Tiendesitas, and Tomas Morato in Quezon City. Since we have been dominated by sports bikes and underbones, availability of the accessories for this type of bike is quite limited, but there are specialty stores that caters this type of bike. Classic motorcycles are booming nowadays, so you will be able to see some accessories and custom parts on several stores. Their showroom offers a lot of custom parts as well, and you just need to visit them to choose and order. Royal Enfield even sells helmets, riding jackets, apparels, riding gears, and bags that matches their bikes. And if I am to own one, please, German, please! I would put the sump guard, engine guards, fly screen, leather saddlebags, and open exhaust so that everyone will hear the beautiful roar of this bike. So for the maintenance and accessories, I would give this bike 4.5 stars. Number 7 is the price. Price of this bike depends on the variant. The base model costs around 383,000 pesos. The custom model costs 390,000 pesos. And the special model costs 394,000 pesos. I know some of you may think that this bike costs more than few bikes. But those bikes are not within the same category as of this bike in terms of style and build quality. And if we're going to compare the price of this bike with other bikes of the same category, it's really the cheapest by a wide margin. Come to think of it, you're getting a classic bike with a premium quality, which is expressway legal, at a cheaper price. And if you are planning to have a financing scheme for this bike, the best part is that Royal Enfield is offering installments at 0 interest. That is 0 interest! What? And for further information about this awesome promo, you may contact the nearest showroom in your area. And so for the price, I would give this bike 5 stars. And just a recap on the ratings that we gave this bike. For the looks, we gave 5 stars. For the comfortability, we gave 5 stars. For the engine and performance, we gave 4.5 stars. For the tech, we gave 4 stars. For the reliability, we gave 5 stars. For the maintenance and accessories, we gave 4.5 stars. And for the price, we gave 5 stars. So for the final verdict, we will give this bike 4.7 stars. Yes, this bike looks outdated, but I'm one of those riders that sees this bike as a timeless bike, yung hindi mawawala sa uso. This bike represents the original ethos of this bike, which is to be young, free, and have fun. It doesn't matter if you ride this bike in the twisty roads of Marilake, in the highways of NLEX, or in the urban jungle called Metro Manila. It will still give you the equal fun and comfort together with that classic style and modern performance. This is something that Chairman and I agreed to own. When will it be? Only she can tell. Aww. And if you learned something from this video, appreciate if you can like, share, and subscribe to my channel so you will be updated on the latest videos. Thank you guys for watching this video, and see you in our next vlog. This has been Music signing off. Stay safe, ride safe, and God bless.